On a Tuesday morning, Christine opened an email she didn't recognize from a therapist's office. The message was brief. Dr. Donna wanted you to receive this. Watch it alone. A video file was attached. Christine put in her earphones and clicked play. A woman in glasses appeared, looking directly into the camera.
My name is Dr. Donna Miller. I have terminated my therapeutic relationship with your mother, Barbara. She asked me to help her hurt you. I refused. I said, I won't help you hurt your daughter again.
What did she mean? Hurt? What exactly did my mother try to do? I need to know.
Christine's hand shook as she reached for the trackpad. She wasn't sure she could bear another word. She paused the video. The therapist's face froze, her warning incomplete.
This is real. My mother actually tried to use her therapist to attack me. But for what purpose?
Christine sat back, the words, "I won't help you hurt your daughter," echoing in the quiet room. A phrase that changed everything. Steeling herself, Christine pressed play. Dr. Donna's steady voice resumed, each word heavier than the last.
For the past 6 years, your mother has been trying to weaponize our sessions against you. She described you as unstable, erratic, incapable. She wanted me to agree to put it in writing. I never found any clinical evidence to support her claims. I told her that repeatedly.
On the screen, Dr. Donna paused briefly, then her tone turned even more deliberate.
2 weeks ago, she asked me to write a letter supporting a guardianship petition. She wants to declare you incompetent and take control of your assets. I refused. I terminated our therapeutic relationship immediately. She signed a consent for this recording, believing I would side with her. Christine, if you are hearing this, you need to retain a family law attorney right now. She is planning to file.
Guardianship. She wants to make me legally incompetent. This isn't just an argument, it's an ambush.
The video ended, leaving a silence that felt heavier than any sound. Christine sat motionless, her mother's plan now a cold, undeniable weight. Christine clicked replay, needing to hear the warning again. Dr. Donna's voice filled the room once more, specifying the guardianship request.
A guardianship. She wants a court to declare me incompetent. After all these years, she found a legal weapon.
She listened to the part about the signed consent, the therapist's refusal. A strange mix of gratitude and horror washed over her.
Dr. Donna risked her career to warn me, and my mother thought she'd won.
She knew she had to act. The words "retain a family law attorney" rang in her ears. She pulled her laptop closer.
If she's already filed, I might have only days. Every attorney could be my last chance.
She returned to her laptop, fingers hovering over the keyboard. A search for family law attorneys in her city.
Who do I trust? How do I explain this? A video from a therapist. It sounds like a movie.
Scrolling through profiles, one name caught her eye. Frank O'Connor, board certified, experienced in contested guardianships. Her cursor rested on the call button. She wasn't ready to press it, but she knew she would. Before she could second-guess herself, Christine pressed the call button. The line rang, each tone louder than the last.
This is insane. I am calling a lawyer about my own mother. But it's the only way, Mr. O'Connor. My name is Christine. My mother is trying to get a guardianship against me. I have a video from her therapist that explains everything. Please call me back.
She recited her number slowly, then hung up, her hand trembling as she set the phone on the desk.
There. It's done. Now I just have to wait and pray he believes me.
She couldn't stand the silence, so she opened her email and composed a brief message to Frank, summarizing the video and requesting a consultation. She attached a screen capture of Dr. Donna's face and hit send. Then she refreshed her inbox. Every few seconds, her heart hammering. The phone remained dark. The room felt too quiet, too still.
He has to call back. If he doesn't, I don't know what I'll do.
Less than an hour later, her phone lit up with Frank O'Connor's name. She picked up before the second ring.
Miss Christine, Frank O'Connor. I got your message. Tell me about this video and the therapist.
Dr. Donna Miller. She recorded herself resigning as my mother's therapist and warning me about a guardianship petition.
She signed a consent for that. You have the original file?
Yes, I have everything. The video, the consent form.
That's evidence of premeditation. This isn't a simple family dispute. I want to see you first thing tomorrow. Can you come to my office?
Yes. Tell me when and where.
8 a.m. I'll send the address. Bring everything you have.
She agreed, feeling both relief and a cold knot of fear. The fight had officially begun. The next morning, Christine stepped into Frank's modern office, a USB drive cold in her palm.
Good to meet you. Let's see what you've brought.
He loaded the video on his tablet, watching in silence as Dr. Donna's face filled the screen. His frown deepened.
A request to write a guardianship support letter. This isn't just manipulation. It's a premeditated legal assault. A guardianship requires clear evidence of incompetence. Without it, the petition is baseless. This video proves intent. It's our smoking gun. But we must move fast. Before she files, I'll send a preemptive letter to her attorney today, putting them on notice. We'll preserve all evidence immediately.
Christine signed the retainer agreement with a steady hand, the pen scratching finality.
I'm really doing this. I'm going to war with my own mother.
She walked out past the frosted glass door, the weight of the signed paper in her bag, and the knowledge that the next move was hers. In her living room, Barbara dialed her mother, her voice already lined with practiced worry.
Mom, I'm so worried about Christine. She's become so unstable. I don't know what to do.
What's happened now? She was fine last week.
She's cutting everyone out again. I think I may need to pursue legal guardianship for her own good.
Guardianship? Barbara, are you sure that's necessary?
Just trust me, Mom. I am only doing what any mother would.
She hung up. The soft concern evaporated instantly. Her eyes turned hard, calculating.
They believe the fragile daughter story every time.
She poured herself a cup of tea, movements slow and deliberate, as if sealing a deal. Seated again, she looked out the window, a faint smile playing on her lips. Everything was on track. A week later, a certified letter arrived. Christine signed with a shaking hand, dread pooling in her stomach. She tore it open. The cover page read, "Petition for guardianship of an incapacitated person." Her name was typed below. The allegations were methodical: inability to manage finances, erratic behavior, danger to self. Each one a sworn lie.
She's not just angry. She's trying to erase me, legally, completely.
She didn't wait. She grabbed her phone and dialed Frank's number, her breath coming fast.
Frank. She filed the petition. It came today. The things she's saying, they're lies. All of them.
Take a breath. Read me the key allegations. I need to hear them.
Respondent exhibits paranoid ideation and refuses mental health care. That's her evidence. Me refusing to see her therapist. Another one. Inability to manage assets. I manage a department of 30 people.
She kept reading, page after page, her voice tight but unbroken. Frank listened, then told her to bring everything. Within hours, Frank called her back to his office. He sat behind his desk, the petition spread open like a battlefield map.
I've reviewed everything. I am filing our response today, attaching the video as Exhibit A.
He slid a draft across the desk. The cover sheet read, "Response in opposition to petition for guardianship."
This video is our key. It shows your mother attempted to manufacture evidence. The court will have to address it.
But can she block it? Claim it's privileged?
She signed a consent waiving privilege for this recording. It's airtight, but her attorney will try to exclude it. Count on that.
Christine felt a spike of fear, but Frank's certainty held. He filed the response electronically that afternoon.
The preliminary hearing is set for 3 weeks from now. We'll be ready.
3 weeks. That's not long. I need to hold it together.
She left his office, the date already burning in her mind. A countdown painted in red ink. The night before the hearing, Christine couldn't sleep. She replayed Dr. Donna's video one last time.
She spent years convincing everyone I was broken. This video proves she was the one building the cage.
At dawn, she put on a navy blazer and drove to the courthouse, the city waking around her. The stone building loomed. She parked and walked to the steps, heart pounding. Frank stood waiting at the steps, briefcase in hand, his gaze steady.
We have the evidence. The video and consent are unassailable. The judge will see that.
I've held this truth inside for years. Today, someone else will finally hear it.
They started up the steps together, each stride echoing on the stone. At the top, the heavy doors swung open, revealing the quiet, cavernous interior. She stepped through, Frank beside her, into the courtroom where everything would be decided. The courtroom was wood-paneled and stark. Barbara already sat with her attorney, posture serene, gaze sharp as ice. The judge called the case. Christine felt Barbara's stare from across the room, a familiar coldness. Barbara's attorney painted a grim picture. Christine was isolated, paranoid, incapable of managing her affairs. Frank squeezed Christine's hand under the table, then rose, his voice cutting through the accusations.
Your Honor, we have a video, recorded by Barbara's own therapist, with Barbara's signed consent.
Barbara's attorney shot up, shouting privilege. Frank held up the consent form, and the room stilled.
The consent waives privilege. I am admitting the video. Bailiff, roll it.
A screen was positioned. The courtroom fell into a heavy silence as the video loaded. Christine held her breath as Dr. Donna's composed face appeared, frozen on the monitor. The video began, and Dr. Donna's measured words cut through the room. My name is Dr. Donna Miller. On the screen, Dr. Donna continued, her tone calm and damning, each word landing like a verdict.
2 weeks ago, she asked me to write a letter supporting a guardianship petition. I refused. There was no clinical basis for her claims. I found no evidence that Christine was incompetent.
Barbara's face drained of color. Her attorney scribbled furiously, but there was no objection that could stop the truth.
I terminated our therapeutic relationship. I believe she intended to misuse my professional standing.
Christine watched as her mother's mask cracked for the first time in years, and she felt something shift inside her.
Christine, you need to retain a family law attorney immediately. She is planning to file against you.
The video ended. The courtroom fell into a silence heavier than any sound, the weight of a lie collapsing. Barbara sat rigid, her composure shattered. The lie she'd built for 6 years lay bare before the court. The judge's gavel would come next, but for a moment, there was only the sound of Christine's quiet exhale. The judge cleared her throat and spoke, each word a nail in Barbara's case.
It is clear this petition was filed in bad faith. I am dismissing it with prejudice, effective immediately.
The words washed over Christine, and for the first time in months, she could breathe.
However, the petitioner's conduct demands scrutiny. I order a psychiatric evaluation before any future court action.
Barbara's attorney shot up, but the judge silenced him with a raised hand and a final gavel strike.
An evaluation? They're turning this around on me.
Barbara's face crumpled, the control she'd wielded for years evaporating in the courtroom light.
She tried to have me declared unfit. Now a judge is examining her sanity.
This is bigger than we thought. But you are safe now.
Christine looked across the room at her mother, a stranger now, and felt the hollow victory settle in her chest. One chapter closed, but the reckoning was only beginning. A week later, Barbara sat in a clinical office, attempting her familiar worried mother smile.
When did you first believe Christine needed guardianship? Walk me through that decision.
Barbara's answers were polished, but Dr. Evelyn's quiet questions peeled back decades of unexamined motives.
This woman is too perceptive. I need to be careful what I reveal.
Over several sessions, the evaluation exposed a long pattern of manipulation and fear of abandonment. When the report arrived, its cover page was stark. Cluster B personality disorder with manipulative and narcissistic traits. Frank forwarded a copy. Christine stared at the envelope on her kitchen table, her fingers frozen.
This is the proof, the label that explains everything. And yet, it still terrifies me.
She didn't open it yet. The weight of validation pressed against her chest, heavy and undeniable. The report sat unread, a truth that would shatter her family's silence when she was ready to break it. A week later, the evaluation report arrived at Mary's house. The family gathered, the pages passing between them like a heavy chain.
Cluster B. I don't fully understand this, but it means Christine was telling the truth all along.
One of Barbara's brothers read a passage aloud, describing manipulation patterns. His voice broke on the word narcissistic.
I enabled this. For years, I believed everything Barbara said. I am so ashamed.
The siblings sat in silence, the weight of misplaced trust pressing down on everyone in the room. Later, Christine's phone vibrated. Mary's name lit the screen. She let it ring twice before answering.
Christine, honey, I read the evaluation. I am so sorry. I should have listened to you.
Thank you, Grandma. That means a lot. But sorry doesn't undo decades of silence. I need more than words.
She ended the call and set the phone down. The apology was a beginning, but trust, she knew, would take years to rebuild. Barbara walked through the doors of a court-mandated treatment center, her jaw set tight. In early sessions, she deflected. Then her therapist guided her to a fear she'd never voiced.
I was terrified of losing control. Christine's independence felt like a betrayal.
Christine heard about Barbara's progress from Frank. She let hope flicker, then forced it down.
She's in treatment, but that doesn't make her safe. I can't let my guard down.
Christine focused on her own life. She accepted a promotion, moved to a brighter apartment, let friends in. Evenings, she'd sit on the porch with coffee, watching the neighborhood settle, feeling something unfamiliar. Peace. 2 years slipped by. The legal battle faded, replaced by ordinary joys and quiet Sundays. At her new desk, she placed a photo of the old porch, a quiet reminder of survival. She traced the frame, a soft smile flickering. This life was hers, and it was enough. On an ordinary Tuesday, she found a handwritten envelope tucked between bills in her mailbox. The return address was a treatment facility. Her pulse quickened as she recognized Barbara's neat script. She lowered herself onto the porch steps, the envelope heavy in her lap, as if it contained more than paper. For a long moment, she just stared at her name in her mother's handwriting. The seal remained unbroken. Finally, she slid her finger under the flap and pulled out a thick letter. Her hands shook slightly. The first line read, "Christine, I owe you an explanation that I have never been brave enough to give."
She's not asking for anything. She's not defending herself. This is different.
Her eyes blurred with tears, but she blinked them back, needing to see every word clearly. Her thumb moved under the next line, and she read on, her heart a wild drum. The letter continued, and Christine's face was a map of caution and fragile hope. She turned the page. "I see now that I was the one who was unwell. I am sorry for the years I stole from you. The guardianship was my desperate attempt to not lose you. It was never about your health."
She's confessing, not justifying. For the first time in her life, a genuine apology.
"I don't ask for forgiveness. I ask only that you hear me and know this is true." Christine's hand went to her mouth as she reached the final paragraph. "I will not contact you again unless you want me to. I am in treatment, and I am working to understand what I did."
She's giving me the power to decide. After all this time, she's finally letting go.
The letter ended with her mother's full name, written carefully. No demand, just a signature. Christine lowered the pages and let the tears come, unchecked. For the first time in years, the letter rested in her lap, a weight both crushing and freeing. She let her gaze drift to the horizon, the sun dipping below the rooflines, painting the sky amber.
I remember Dr. Donna's face on that screen, the courtroom silence, the diagnosis that made everything finally real. That video saved me. The judge saw the truth. Now, For the first time, so does she.
The letter in her lap was not forgiveness. It was evidence that a shift had occurred, but an apology, however sincere, could not rewrite the years of pain.
I won't call. I won't write. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I will keep this.
She began to fold the letter, slowly, matching corner to corner. Her movements ritualistic. Each crease was firm, a small acceptance without obligation. When it was a neat rectangle, she stood, the paper held loosely in her hand. She walked across the porch and opened the screen door, stepping back into the quiet house. She walked through the quiet house to the small desk near the window, the folded letter held like fragile glass. She hesitated, then pulled open the bottom drawer, the one she opened only when something needed to be buried. Inside, the court order with the judge's signature rested beside Dr. Donna's business card. She laid the letter on top.
There. You belong with the rest of the story.
The drawer slid shut with a soft click, a sound that seemed to seal something finished. She pressed her palm against the wood for a long moment, feeling the grain, the quiet. Turning to the window, she watched the amber light flood the street, the neighborhood settling into evening.
I was right. All those years, I was right.
The drawer now held a letter, a diagnosis, and a therapist's warning, but the silence around her was hers alone. She stood in the golden glow, not healed, not yet, but unmistakably, finally acknowledged. She picked up her coffee mug from the desk and stepped back onto the porch, the screen door clicking softly shut behind her. The evening had deepened, the sky a wash of violet and amber, the neighborhood settling into the night. She sank onto the top step, cupping the warm ceramic in both hands, her gaze fixed on the horizon. A breeze rustled at the potted flowers, carrying the scent of approaching autumn, and she breathed it in. Some victories are loud, courtroom verdicts, gavel strikes, but the truest victories are silent. A letter in a drawer, a therapist's warning that was believed. A life finally reclaimed on its own terms. Christine didn't need to call anyone. The paper trail in that drawer was evidence enough. She sipped her coffee and watched the streetlights blink on, one by one, down the familiar block. For the first time in years, the silence wasn't empty. It was full of something like peace. On the porch, as dusk settled into dark, Christine allowed herself a small, quiet smile. Sometimes, the deepest proof of courage is not a confrontation, but a boundary held with quiet hands. It's the ability to keep a drawer of sorrow and still choose to live fully. The drawer held evidence, a therapist's warning, a court order, and now an apology. Christine had built a life that needed none of it, but she kept it as proof. On the porch, she lifted her face to the rising moon, the sky now fully dark. The breeze moved through her hair, carrying the first crisp hint of autumn. She was not healed. Some wounds leave permanent scars that shape who we become, but she was whole, and that quiet wholeness was a victory no one could steal. The letter remained in the drawer, a silent testament to a truth finally spoken, and Christine at last was at peace.